Hi everyone, and thanks for watching my online lesson on converting between mixed numbers and improper fractions. So we're going to start by looking at some more basic examples, and I've got these 3 questions here to start with. So the first question is, how many halves are there in 3 whole ones? So I'm going to do this using a diagram. I'm just going to draw 3 circles as my 3 whole ones. And now I'm going to split my whole ones into halves. So splitting something into half means splitting it into 2 equal pieces. So I'm just going to split these down the middle like that. It's not a dead accurate diagram, but you get the idea. So how many halves have I got all together? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So each one of these pieces is a half, and 6 halves is the same as 3 whole ones. How many quarters are there in 5 whole ones? So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole ones, and now I'm splitting these into quarters, so that's into 4 equal pieces. There we go. So each one of these pieces is a quarter. How many have I got in 5 whole ones? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 quarters is the same as 5 whole ones. And last one, how many thirds are there in 4 whole ones? So here's my 4 whole ones. And I'm going to attempt to split these into 3 equal pieces, which is going to roughly look like this. So these are my thirds. Each piece here is a third. How many thirds are there in 4 whole ones? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 thirds is the same as 4 whole ones. Now you might notice here as I've done this that there's quite an easy way of doing this without having to draw the diagrams. So because here I was working in halves, every whole one is made up of 2 halves. So for 3 whole ones I need to do 3 times 2, which is 6, and that gets me the answer much quicker. In this example here I was splitting into quarters, so every whole one is made up of 4 quarters. So in 5 whole ones, there are 5 multiplied by 4, which is 20 whole ones. And in this example, every whole one contains 3 thirds. So in 4 whole ones, there are 4 times 3, which is 12 thirds. So it's a quicker way of doing it by doing the multiplication. So in our last examples, we were looking at integers, which are just whole numbers, and converting those into improper fractions, which are sometimes called top-heavy fractions. In this example, we have a mixed number. So a mixed number is just an integer and a fraction together. So in this example, we have 3 and 5/6. So converting this into an improper fraction, I'm going to have to change this 3 into a fraction and then add it on to my 5/6 that I have here. Now when we add fractions and when we're combining these together, we have to have the same denominator. We have to be working in the same size parts. So I have to change this 3 into 6. So how many 6ths are there in the number 3? Well, if we think about our last example, in every whole one there will be 6 6ths. So in 3 whole ones there will be 3 times 6, which is 18 6ths. So 3 is made up of 18 6ths. And then we have our 5/6 as well to add to that. So altogether 3 and 5/6 is made up of 23 6ths. So that's converting a mixed number into an improper fraction. Here's a second example. So this time we have 2 and 3/7 as our mixed number. So looking at the number 2, I'm going to have to change this into something out of 7. So some fraction with 7 on the denominator. So how many sevenths are there in the number 2? Well, there are 7 sevenths in a whole one. So in 2 whole ones, there will be 2 times 7, which is 14 sevenths. And then I also have my 3 sevenths to add on to that, because this is my mixed number. So altogether, 2 and 3 sevenths is made up of 17 sevenths. Now let's look at going in the other direction. So I now have an improper fraction. In this example, it's 33 quarters. And I've got to change that into a mixed number. So every 4 quarters that I have will make up a whole one. So 4 quarters is a whole one. 8 quarters will be 2 whole ones. 12 quarters would be 3 whole ones. So I need to do my 4 times tables up to 33. So I know that 4 times 8, let's make a side note of this, 4 times 8 is 32, and I can't go any further than that. If I do 4 times 9, that's 36, and I don't have enough quarters. So I can make up 8 whole ones out of this, because 32 quarters is 8 whole ones. And if I use 32 quarters to make my 8 whole ones, there will only be 1 quarter that I haven't used, so it's 8 1/4. Here's a second example. So this time my improper fraction is 19 fifths. So I'm dealing with fifths this time. Every 5 fifths that I have will make a whole one. So 5 fifths is 1 whole one. 10 fifths will be 2 whole ones. 15 fifths makes 3 whole ones. And I don't quite have enough to do 4 whole ones. I'd need 20 fifths. So I don't quite have enough for that. So I can use 3 whole ones, which is 15 fifths. And if I use up 15 of my fifths to make 3 whole ones, I will have 4 fifths left over that I haven't used, because I have 19 fifths in total. So that is my mixed number. Here's some examples for you to try. So we've got some mixed numbers that need to be converted into improper fractions, and some improper fractions that need to be converted into mixed numbers. You might find it useful to draw some diagrams to help you, and this question here is a bit of a weird question, I'll say. Wait and see what the answer is. So pause the video and then unpause when you're ready to see the solutions. Here are the solutions. So I've just written these as an addition rather than just writing them next to each other. So in this first question, in 4 whole ones, there are 36 ninths, plus the 5 ninths gives me 41 ninths. And in this one, 1 whole one is 12 twelfths, add the 7 twelfths is 19 twelfths. This one here, every 3 thirds makes 1 whole one, so 24 thirds is the most amount of whole ones I can get out. That's 8 whole ones plus the 2 thirds that remain. 11 elevenths makes a whole one, so the most I can get out of 101 is 99 elevenths, which is 9 whole ones, plus the 2 elevenths that are left over. And this one here is just 72 divided by 8 is 9. There are 9 whole ones, because every 8 eighths is a whole one, and 8 goes into 72 9 times with no remainder at all. So it is just 9 the answer. Thank you for watching.